All right, let me jump into 6 very quickly. This is for international partners in agreement. We talk about covenant agreement. We have partners, when we partner, they sign an agreement with us in that partnership. We don't expect that out of volunteers. We do expect you to do all the other paperwork, but not sign an agreement on all those things. We do yearly training. So yearly training, and sometimes that could be every 6 months or quarterly. And if we do, we get started right now, and we go September, October, November, December, and we are pulling in. You got people from your church, and you got people from your church, and we got 5, 10 people coming. We're going to do a beginning of year training again, just to refresh people. Now that might be a little more. That may be a 3-hour training to go over high points. We see people are struggling in this area. We see, hey, this needs to come up here. Once a year, we're doing a longer training, right? More like today, a little longer. It probably could go we could probably do a little more than we're doing today, and we'll address that in the future. But we want to be proactive in training. Also, to add with that, that connect point at the end of the day or the end of the week on how things are going is important. And that's sort of in-house, just keeping things cleaned up. Yes, if you're helping with a class, or you're saying, hey, this is what's going on, this is where we need to address. We also get outside help involved. We'll have a guidance counselor. We'll have someone over education who tests, come in from the school and get involved and go through our group of kids to test areas they're weak at and areas we need to address. So we're working as a community together to be better, and so that we can help impact these kids at a greater level. So yearly training is a part of it. The spiritual warfare aspect, I've already taught you on that, but let me say this concerning spiritual warfare. And this is lesson 6, responsibilities and agreement. And here's the thing. Even if you don't write a covenant down, when you commit to something, here's what I would ask. If you're going to come in and serve this year, be committed to the year. Everybody's got to be led by God, whether you're coming back next year or not. But if you're going to come, unless life circumstances totally change, give that time. Say, okay, I'll be here this time, and follow through with that. But then if you say, this ain't for me going into next year, it's nobody's tied here, but we're making an agreement and a commitment in our heart, because out of commitment, there's fulfillment. There's fulfillment. So being committed helps bring fulfillment in our lives. And so with the warfare, we're going to look at 2 Corinthians 10, verse 3 through 6. And this just ties back into Ephesians 6:10 that we talked about earlier. And this is adding on to understanding warfare. And this is just, we need to do this in our mindset, and we also need to teach this in our young people. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God, for pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity, the obedience of Christ, and being ready to punish all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. So part of that is, as you walk in obedience, you can address disobedience in people, whether it's volunteers or whether it's other people or whether it's kids, because you're walking in obedience. So we want to make sure we're being obedient Christians, walking in the authority of the Lord. And this is more it ties into the international, is, we're going to, in having a director, someone, we're going to be checking in. We're going to see reports. We're going to see what's going on. We're going to be monitoring. The other part of this is we're here to mentor and invest in the volunteers and people. We've seen life transform in people's lives who are volunteering. And so, just the whole concept, the whole heartbeat of Malachi is serving those that are in need, fathering a generation. And we've seen that this is just as good for the volunteers and their relationship with God, that, we're not called to be what we call pew warmers or sideline Christians. We're called to get in the game. And part of being here and being involved is you're getting in the game. You're getting involved. You're not sitting on the sideline. You're not wasting your time. You're not wasting your talent. You're not wasting your treasure. You're using it for the glory of God. And when you do that, there's more satisfaction. I played sports growing up. You're a lot more satisfied in the game and making a difference, making an impact, than you are sitting on the side watching it. And so what our mentorship, our teaching is to get people in and get them involved and then help them through that process of being involved. Help them through what needs to be changed or tweaked or how we can do it better together. And so the last part of this is our convictions on godly living. Now, some people you may disagree with some of this, and that's okay. We're not asking you to take this to your house. We're not asking you to come in agreement, but we do ask in our house that we don't do certain things. So we don't celebrate Halloween here. This is personal convictions from my own relationship with the Lord and things that God showed me. So like during that season, you might, man, the kids need, like we love kids, we love candy, but we don't do Halloween, right? And if you do, I'm not going to throw you out. That doesn't mean you can't volunteer. It doesn't mean, because we don't do Easter Bunny. But that doesn't mean, like I'm not, like if you go pick up eggs with candy, that's between you and the Lord. I personally don't do it in house. And so these are little things that we just ask people to honor our convictions. We do celebrate Jesus Christ. We do celebrate birthdays. We do celebrate Christmas. But I don't do Santa. In my own house, I don't. Right? But my kids get good Christmas every year. And they got a loving dad there. So that's my personal conviction. And that overflows into, because I couldn't found a ministry, run a ministry, and my home convictions be separate. So that's in the house. And if you do Santa, we're not like judging you. Awesome. Enjoy Santa, right? We're not against necessarily that, but I personally don't do that. And we teach this even with my kids at school. The other thing, ungodly entertainment, and we stay away from it. And we're going to have kids that have Disney stuff in here. We stay away from Disney. I've seen a lot of things. So there's just a few things that we try. Now if every kid walks in with something bad, now there's certain things kids will have on, we'll ask them to take them off. And we'll give them a Malachi shirt. Like there's certain things with witchcraft, there's certain things with evil that we say, oh, hey, and one of our main leaders will catch that and say, we need you to take that off. Don't wear that. And I always like to give another shirt for it. Like, hey, I got a shirt for you, and you've just elevated. You're super cool now, right? We don't want to be legalistic with that, but we also want to honor the convictions, and we're not forcing those on people that come here. But we do, when we work with the kids and what we expect, want to make sure you know that. Because if we see, you say, I had a dear friend of mine that's loves the Lord. They've supported the ministry for 10 years. She wanted to give me a bunch of Easter eggs, and I was like, I'm not trying to be offensive. Normally we say yes to about everything people give us. I said, are you okay if I don't want to, we love you, thank you, I know, but I don't want them. And just being able to be okay with that and stuff. And let me finish this one thing, and then I'm going to take your question as we close. I'm trying to find my list. No, I want the close thing, because this is, here it is. Staff, you'll find this here. This is staff and volunteer. And now, something we did this for is, we have people, like if you have an earring in your ear, that's fine. But when you start running a chain from your ear to your nose, to your eyebrow, we had to say, hey, you got to pull that out, We've had people have the nose rings, and we say, can you just put something in it while you're here? Because we don't, because I don't know when will that stop, right? What point? And look, I got tattoos. If you see, I got tattoos and stuff, but I can't do nothing about that. And so I've come out of a lifestyle with a lot of craziness, but we want to be conservative in our approach to dress and wear. But while work attire is casual, this is staff and volunteer dress code. While work attire is casual at our organization, all employees, volunteers should maintain appropriate standards of neat and professional dress and grooming. If you question the appropriateness of a certain piece of attire, it probably isn't appropriate. So, requests for advice and assistance in administering or interpreting this guideline should be directed to the River Refuge and Malachi Project staff. While employees and volunteers may wear casual clothes, attire that should not be worn includes clothing does not fit correctly, too tight or too loose. Now, we've had some teenagers come in with stuff on. We had a young lady that I had to say, staff, look, this ain't got nothing to do with any man or woman in here or any lust issue. That is not okay. You cannot, young lady, wear that here. Your daddy didn't teach you. You see, my little girls, we're gonna teach them. It's just not okay. So we teach that. We ask that if clothing is faded, stained, discolored, torn, patched, ripped, or frayed, that we ask them not. Clothing that exposes shoulder and chest area, we ask that be covered. And just so like, what I'm saying is real thin area stuff. So like what you got on right now is appropriate. You said, no, that wouldn't. But if it gets, when it gets too far in and it's short, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it's not dressed like you. When you came in today, I never felt any like concern, right? And so I use that gauge with me, like, hey, that's. And so yes, ma'am. That I know you guys that are watching by video, something that's covering fully over your shoulders is okay. We're talking about spaghetti strap stuff that's very thin or not fitting properly would be an issue. You can wear knee-length shorts and stretch pants. That now for main staff, that's going to be changing here. That will be, but volunteers and stuff, that's going to be okay. All tight pants and sweatpants must have shirt covering the lower part of the body. What are they called? Yoga pants. Yoga pants. We ask that, you know, if so, there needs to be something appropriate covering them, that it doesn't become we have teenage boys in here and teenage girls, and we don't want this to become something we don't want it to become. We're going to leave it at that. No piercings except earrings, except that it is approved by staff. Sandals, flip-flops, similar foot gear with inappropriate symbols. So sandals and flip-flops are similar foot. Okay, even for Miss Vanessa right now, we would ask that y'all would put on something a little more stable in case there's ever an emergency. If you're upstairs, you have to come down. We're not going to be real, but something with a back on it, something that could catch. And we will have at some point, how do we deal with a situation where we have to evacuate, right? We'll teach that and have moments of that. And that'll be more for upper hand staff, but I'm just sharing so you know. Halter tops, gym clothes, athletics, clothing with offensive slogans or pictures, profanity and nude or semi-nude pictures, offensive gestures, suggestive cartoons, political slogans. Irregardless what persuasion you are, we're staying away from that. This is a house for the Lord. And listen, we're okay with your convictions. We're here to build the kingdom of God, but we're not, this ain't here to promote political agenda. Pop culture, this is big with our kids. When they start rocking Tupac and Biggie and all these rap slang and stuff, if it's too far, we'll ask it to be removed, and we'll talk with that kid, and we will get them another shirt or whatever. So, secular music artists, ungodly movies, etc. Logos or symbols of occult images or other religions, examples, and you may not, this is our conviction, but just with this, the peace symbol, the upside down cross, yin and yang signs, dream catchers, those are just a few of certain things that we ask for people not to wear, or necklaces, things like that. We have other things that may come about with that we would talk with people about, and just share. So those are some of the things that we ask would volunteer, and dress code. And then let me see to make sure I'm not missing anything. I think I've covered everything in number 6.